Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Rodriguez. I'm the host of Home Cooking with Pride. I hope you all can hear me out there. Before we get started cooking Italian cuisine with Sal Serpe, I wanted to acknowledge everything that's going on right now. And can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure you could hear me. We here at Silicon Valley Pride really wanted to acknowledge everything that's been going on and acknowledge that the Black community historically suffers a lot of injustice due to the systemic racism in our society. And it is important that we as LGBTQ folks stand up for our Black brothers and sisters, whether or not they're LGBTQ, because Black rights are LGBTQ rights. And we encourage you to get involved and make change, whether that is protesting or donating to an organization that supports the Black Lives Matters movement, or just doing something as simple as registering to vote and voting in every election and communicating to your elected officials that you want change that improves the quality of life for our Black brothers and sisters. So that being said, please get involved and exercise your right, because we are walking on the shoulders of giants who helped propel our movement forward. And many, if not most of those giants were African American and people of color who were LGBTQ. So for those of us who aren't people of color or who walk around in the world with white privilege, let's make a change. Let's stand up for other people who stood up for us. That being said, we also hope that you will turn into our panel discussion. It's a panel discussion that's going to happen at 11 a.m. on June 14th, this coming Sunday. And all the panelists are going to be Black African American community members and leaders, most of them from the Bay Area, from the San Jose region. And it's a chance to amplify their voice and let us hear from them and what's going on from their perspective as LGBTQ Americans who are Black. And so please tune in for that event. And also we hope that the other events that we produce, like Home Cooking with Pride or our Quarantine Queens and our drag shows, we hope that provides like a healing, safe space that allows you to recharge and feel good about yourself, because we need that too. Without further ado, I would like to welcome one of my good friends and fun chefs, and he has his own YouTube videos on YouTube, and his name is Sal Serpe. So could you please bring in Sal Serpe, and let's welcome Sal Serpe.
Hi, Brian. Thank you so much for having me.
Sal, how are you?
Pride.
Good. Well, I think I have most of my stuff chopped and ready to go, but I just wanted to follow, I guess, your lead. So what should we do?
Okay, great. The big thing about this dish is that there's so many ingredients that we kind of want to make sure everything is prepped ahead of time. So if it's possible, Saldi, would you be able to put on my camera that's showing my ingredients? Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so right here, I got 1 tablespoon of garlic salt. We're going to be using garlic salt throughout the entire recipe because, you know, Italians, we love garlic. And we also have fresh real garlic. We have about half a cup of garlic. No, actually 1 cup. And then I have a tablespoon of olive oil. We're going to use 1 pound, which serves about 4 people of spaghetti. And then I have 2 crowns of broccoli that I'm going to start steaming momentarily. We have fresh chopped Italian parsley. We have about 1 carton of mushrooms that's pre-sliced. I like having the pre-sliced so that way I'm not wasting time cutting it up. And then, right? And then lastly, we have Parmesan cheese, Parmigiana, which we'll use at the very end.
Great. Well, I have a little bit of, I have most of these ingredients cut already. So I chopped up roughly more or less the Italian flat leaf parsley. I have some mushrooms left to slice, but I sliced most of them so you guys wouldn't be watching me slice. However, like, I think it's kind of good to see a little bit of technique. And when you're cutting these mushrooms, make sure to kind of tuck your fingers like this so that when the knife comes down, it's not coming down on your fingertip. I've made that mistake before once, and cut off the little tiny tip of my finger, and it was not good. It wouldn't stop bleeding, and it led to an expensive emergency room visit. But no bad damage, just a little cutting tip. And then what I like to do with garlic, when it has the skin left on it like this, is lay it down. I've seen TV chefs do this. I saw one of my guests, Michelle Zhang, do this when she was teaching me how to cook some of her Chinese cuisine favorites. And basically you put it underneath your knife and you smash down like that, and then it turns into this big mush of garlic that is easy to cut and mince, and then it takes a lot of the work out, and you don't have to dirty a press. You know how there are those presses. So I have like a ton of garlic ready. I have my water boiling. I started my broccoli per your instructions, Sal. So can the broccoli be substituted in this recipe, Sal? What's your opinion?
Oh, absolutely. This is actually a family tradition that we add the broccoli, but traditional olio does not need broccoli. It's pretty much, they call it olio because the olio is the garlic and then the olio is the olive oil. So it's really a simple spaghetti dish that you can make with garlic and olive oil. So that's just an addition. If you don't have broccoli at home, you don't need it.
Or throw in some leftover vegetables from the night before, right? Or whatever tickles your fancy.
Sun-dried tomatoes is really good.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Cool. So what should I do? What should I do next?
Okay, so now that we have the water boiling, I added 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of garlic salt. So that's boiling. Should be done momentarily. The broccoli should be starting to steam now because we want the broccoli to cook for a while. We want the broccoli, you know how you want your broccoli normally kind of crunchy, but for this recipe, you want it to be really soft. You want the broccoli to almost melt in your mouth. I want the broccoli to spread throughout the entire pasta. So it's gonna cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay.
Should I put my spaghetti in the water now?
Has it started boiling?
It has.
Okay, yes. Then go ahead and start putting the spaghetti in there. And for your broccoli, when you steam it, you're gonna want to use a steamer that looks kind of like this. Hopefully you can see it. And use 2 cups of water to steam. Not that much water is necessary. And again, I only use 2 crowns of broccoli, so. All right, I got that cooking on high. Another thing I'm gonna start to do is I'm gonna get my 5-quart saute pan, and I'm gonna start to soak my garlic.
So you're going to start to cook your garlic and what?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, in the oil? Put oil in the saute skillet and start sauteing the garlic?
Exactly. I'm actually going to let it soak for a little while. It makes it cook a little quicker. But you don't have to start sauteing until the broccoli's done steaming.
Oh, okay. Okay, so don't start cooking yet. Okay.
Yeah, don't start cooking. I'm just letting it soak in there and let the olive oil soak in with the garlic.
Okay.
As you notice, all the action is going to start moving over to the stove. There we go. I got some soaking in there.
Maybe come over here with me. Okay, so I have my mushrooms, my parsley, the oil is here. I started to heat it up, but I turned it off so that the garlic won't burn. And it's just kind of soaking right now. I'll follow your lead on when to let it get hot again. And now I'm moving my spaghetti around. Also, something I think I forgot to do was add a little bit of salt to the spaghetti water. So I'm gonna do that now.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I add 1 tablespoon of garlic salt and 1 tablespoon of olive oil to the pasta water.
Mm-hmm.
And then also with the steamed broccoli, I add 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of garlic salt. It's gonna add so much flavor to your broccoli.
Right on.
But
okay.
Those of you who are watching your sodium, then maybe don't add as much garlic salt.
Right on.
Normally, I'm the type of chef that goes by like taste and smell, but
Yes.
for this recipe, I measured everything out.
Right on. So I pretty much am just here stirring my spaghetti so it doesn't clump, and waiting for you can see my broccoli steaming away. It was a little bit too tall for my shallow container or pan, so I just put some aluminum foil on top.
Okay. All right, my water's boiling.
Let's see if there's any questions right now. Oh,
Yeah.
Andrew says cook. Okay, good. We're cooking.
Hey, Andrew. Hey, Salty, would you mind putting on the camera, the above camera? Oh, no wonder I got disconnected from it.
Oh, come look at the spaghetti, Jean-Marie.
So when I put my spaghetti in there, I like to break it in half. So that way the pieces aren't too long and you're not like slurping them. But the thing to be careful about when you're breaking your spaghetti in half is that sometimes little pieces will shatter everywhere. So just break it into the water.
I like to slurp and I like a long noodle, so I'm not going to break my noodles.
That's the last thing you want to do is break a noodle.
No, no. God forbid.
So when did you like start falling in love with Italian food?
You know, my mother was a waitress and a bartender after my parents divorced, and you know, she was going back to school to learn how to be an early childhood educator. And the restaurant that she worked at in Watsonville was called Garbini's. It's not there anymore. My mom and Butch Garbini had known each other forever, and it was Italian American food. Like it wasn't like watching Lydia Maticchio Bastianich. Like, you know, it wasn't the real deal. Like his family had been, I think, in Watsonville for 1 or 2 generations. So, but I loved the raviolis, the pesto sauces, the linguinis, and with seafood on it. I used to help out in the kitchen and make antipasti platters with like, you know, cheeses and salamis and stuff. And because it was Watsonville, we added ranch dressing, you know. to the antipasti platter and like little preserved peppers and stuff. So Watsonville, despite it being a small town, was actually kind of a diverse community. We got to eat Japanese cuisine because there was a Japanese American community, Chinese cuisine because there was a Chinese American community, Filipino cuisine, a large Mexican American presence. My dad's actually Mexican American, so I love that cooking as well. And so I liked Italian cooking from a very young age. And then I think I really fell in love with the elegance of it. Watching Lydia Manticchio Bastianich cook, and I have a couple of her cookbooks. And one of my favorite meat sauces is kind of a hybrid of her Italian American meat sauce and her bolognese meat sauce. And I love it. It's very versatile. One time I made a mistake with it and bought canned tomatoes that had green chilies in it. So it actually kind of tasted a little bit more like American chili than bolognese sauce. So I had to pinch it. It was delicious, but whatever. That's California.
Yeah, right? A mix of all foods. Oh,
and
somebody else.
Are there any healthier that we can use? Gluten-free. Salvador, do you want to answer? Well, I mean, obviously you could buy.
Gluten-free pasta would be my go-to.
Yeah.
Or there's polenta, but I don't know. It would totally change the dish. Do you know, Brian?
Well, yeah. I mean, you could. I think if you want to put it on top, like if you want to make a sauce, right? Like a meat sauce or a marinara sauce or something like that, polenta. You could always put it on top of mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes is a base for anything. You could put it inside a baked potato, in my opinion. I think it's kind of up to your imagination. What's kind of like a good base that has kind of a neutral flavor and that can add substance to a dish when the sauce is there to kind of make it taste good. And when should I start like sauteing and stuff like that?
Once you feel your broccoli is almost done steaming, then we can start sauteing it. And it will only take about 3 minutes to saute the mushrooms, the garlic, and the parsley.
Okay. I'm going to start with the garlic because the pasta's almost there.
Have you heard that trick where they say, your pasta's almost done is when you throw it against the wall and it sticks to the wall?
Oh, I've heard that joke, yes.
I've tried it, but normally we're shooting for al dente, right?
I would just fish one out and then stick it in your mouth and chew on it and see how toothy it is. Like if you like it toothy, good. If you don't. That's right. What I would recommend. But, it could be fun to throw a piece of spaghetti against the wall. Why not? Sometimes I feel like throwing food.
All right. And then while I'm waiting for my broccoli to steam, I'm going to continue to stir around my spaghetti to make sure it doesn't stick together. So once it's about ready, I'm going to strain it out.
Yeah, that's. I think my broccoli's good, so I'm just going to turn off the heat and let it sit there.
Okay, then we can start sauteing.
Okay, good. So my garlic's getting warm, but you want it to get cooked a little bit, right? You don't want it to be brown or black, but you want it to be a little bit cooked, right? You want
the garlic to cook through and be soft.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to turn down the heat just a little bit, and I'm going to continue to stir so it doesn't stick and get burned. And I think my spaghetti is probably ready. There we go. Yeah, it's ready.
Okay. Mine probably is too. Nope, not yet.
So to keep it from sticking, I think I will throw a little bit of oil in there because I didn't cook it with oil. And I think my garlic is starting to cook. So I'm going to put my mushrooms in there because I imagine that's the next step, right? Is the mushrooms.
Yes, then the mushrooms, and lastly the parsley.
Okay. Well, the mushrooms have a time to go. So I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil just because I don't want them to stick, and we're going to cover it in olive oil anyway. So. And you know what? I think it needs a little more olive oil.
Yeah. I fell in love with cooking when I was working in the restaurant. And I worked in the restaurant for about 5 years. I worked at a French cafe bakery, and I also worked at a fast casual restaurant. And a funny story, I was in college, I was a little crazy, and the Spanish ladies I would work with, they call me Saloca, Salita. And then they would always make me chop up the cebolla, and then they would make fun of me with the cucumber. Like,
that is so fun.
So that's where, I got my love of cooking from my Spanish mamas. And also my dad. My dad is a really great chef. And that's where I get my Italian roots from.
Right on. How fun. It's really fun working in a restaurant. I really am sad that so many restaurants are closed because it's a great profession. And I'm also sad because people aren't working. And there's a lot of camaraderie and teamwork that goes to working in a kitchen and working at a restaurant, and a lot of pressure. But it can also be very satisfying to see someone's happy, right? And it's just so neat. So where was your French cafe that you worked at, and where was the other place where they made you cut up all the onions? Where were these places?
It was a French cafe called La Boulange, and then they changed their name to La Boulangerie. They were actually partners with Starbucks at one period of time.
Right on.
They're still alive. There's La Boulangerie de San Francisco, and they have fresh pastries, and they're all over the city. And it's really cute. And they not only had pastries, but they had a lot of breakfast items. And then the second one I worked at was Lemonade, which is an LA chain that moved out to the Bay Area. And there I learned so much about how intricate food can be, and how colorful food can be, and how flavorful, and how you can make a simple dish dynamic.
So what is your favorite Italian dish to make? I think this is a quick go-to. Is there something more complicated?
Honestly, I've been learning how to make my own pasta, and raviolis has been the most exciting thing for me.
Oh,
and recently I made this salmon ricotta filled ravioli, and then I put a hollandaise sauce with some lemon over it, and that was honestly so cool and so flavorful.
That sounds delicious, Sal. That sounds delicious. Did you retain any baking skills from La Boulange?
Oh no, I've never been much of a baker.
Okay, so you were doing other things for them, I take it.
Oh yeah, I was making the salads and making eggs and.
I'm going to add something because I like it, and I know this isn't in your recipe, but I love Italian red pepper flakes. So I'm going to add some to my mushrooms because they're almost done.
Oh, good.
And I love a little spice. So as my onions get more, as they get more cooked, closer to being done, then I can add my parsley, and then I would add the pasta. What would I do?
Yeah, so once your mushrooms and your garlic cook through, we'll add in the parsley. And then after that, we'll mix in all your saute mix and the broccoli all in one into the main pot with the pasta.
Okay.
So keep the pasta nice and hot, put a cover on it. Unfortunately, I lost my other camera. Maybe when we're making the salads, I'll turn it back on.
Well, I think mine is ready, so I'm going to add the parsley and stir that around, and then I'm going to add my my spaghetti.
Yeah, I'm just about ready to start sauteing.
I'm going to turn off the heat. And then I think what I will do is I will transfer it back into here. We have heavy iron pots. Come on, there you go. Right on. So now I'm going to have to like scoop this stuff out. This is going to be fun. Maybe on this side.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So, and then I have, oops. I have my broccoli here, which I think now I have to figure out the best way to capture the broccoli basket, because I don't cook with a broccoli basket. You know what? I don't have something to really grab the broccoli out of, so I'm just going to transfer it little by little into the pot, and then I'm going to start stirring it around. And per your instruction, I let it cook longer than I would normally let it cook because we want it to be goopy and fall apart, right?
Yeah, we want to break it down. Can they still see my camera? I don't know if they can.
Let me look over. You know what? I see my camera right now as I'm plating up the broccoli. And
okay, I can see mine now. It's all good, Brian.
Okay, good.
So yeah, once these earthy flavors of the mushroom and the garlic and the parsley all come together, that's when you can tell like the magic is coming alive with the olive oil.
So I am, now you said you want the broccoli to kind of mush into the spaghetti. So I imagine stirring it around is okay. Like this is, like it's almost starting to look like a pesto sauce.
Yeah.
Okay. And cool. When do we add the Parmigiano Reggiano?
That's the last thing. When it's nice and hot, it will melt in there.
Okay. This is looking pretty darn good. And I think I'm going to have maybe more than enough food for 4 people because it's so warm. The heat sometimes kills my appetite a little bit. Doesn't kill it for ice cream, but sometimes it kills it for like the food that's actually good for you. And to plate up my pasta, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it here, or you know what? I'm going to get rid of this because I don't really need this right now. I'm going to bring this over here, and there we go. Oh my gosh, okay, I need to scrape a little bit of that out. And this smells really good, Sal. I have to say I was dubious of like adding the broccoli to the aglio e olio, but it smells really good.
Yeah.
And it looks almost pesto-like. That is pretty cool. And then when we add all that Parmigiano Reggiano, it's going to be amazing. Oh my gosh. In fact, I'm going to start doing this right now. And, you know, I'm going to pull it up from the bottom to the top so that we can
Oh yeah,
add
that
more
looks great.
John. Well, I learned from a master, Sal.
Aw, thank you.
And Sarah, when I was cooking with her a couple weeks ago, and she was instructing me how to make chicken adobo, she said everyone's grandmother or mother makes the best chicken adobo, but that's a claim that everyone makes. And she said, now that you know how to make chicken adobo, Brian, you can claim that your chicken adobo is the best. So I'm going to extend that to the pasta and say that my pasta aglio e olio is the best.
Yes. Right.
Wow, this is like looking really, really good.
This is a dish that I'm gonna be impressing all my future boyfriends with. So hopefully none of them are watching.
I like the multiple in there. All my future boyfriends. I like the multiple. I'm gonna taste.
Oh,
Which is tacky, that it's just me and Jean-Marie. We're in quarantine. It's not like we're going to share this with anyone.
whew, it is hot in here.
Mmm. God, that's so good. Mmm. That is so very good. And you know what? You could still add a little bit more Italian red pepper flakes, in my opinion, because I like it spicy. But I can always just add that to my dish, my personal dish.
Yeah, that's exactly what we like to do at the end. We taste it, and then we add some more salt, pepper, red pepper flakes, Parmesan cheese.
So I'm going to do something that I see some of the TV chefs do, the way they grab it, which is kind of fun to watch them grab it. They kind of dig in there with their tongs, right? And then they kind of drop it on the plate, and they do a little bit of a kind of like a twist, you know? Just a little.
Oh, yeah.
Twist. And then, you know, what I've seen them do is then, if this were Lydia Mantico Bastianich, I think she would like drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top. Maybe add a little bit of red pepper flakes if that's what you want. And then I know that what she would do is she'd have a ton more grated cheese, which I bought in a brick and grated myself. And it's not from Emilia Romagna or in Italy. It's from Wisconsin. I bought it at the grocery outlet, but it's still good. And there you go. You know, it's so good. And Jean-Marie's been assisting with the cameras and everything, so I'll let him have the first dish.
Ooh,
and Sal, when you have yours plated, is it okay if we go to make the cocktail, or are you almost done plating your pasta?
Oh, okay. Let me just finish plating my pasta, and then we could go over to the cocktail.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just about done.
This is great. I think this is the first time I'm actually eating during the cooking show. Before the show is over, we usually eat kind of like at the end.
This is delicious.
This is like so good.
Yeah, it's really a dish that just reminds us of home. It's simple, but okay, let's get this light.
And you know, I'm gonna I'm looking for. There you go. I'm looking for a little like piece of mushroom to put on top.
My finished product.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's nice.
I love it. And then a little bit of olive oil.
Yeah, that's the thing. so much pasta that you sometimes at the last touch you got to add some more salt or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I think a little bit of black pepper would be good too.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, if you're following along, this is one of these recipes that goes pretty quickly. And you might be eating along with us as well. What's your favorite type of wine to have with this dish? Grace would like to know. Sal, do you have any opinions?
With this type of dish, it's very savory, it's very earthy. So you can't go wrong with the Sauvignon Blanc.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
I probably wouldn't go for something sweet.
Okay. I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to pour a little bit of Chardonnay and I'm going to pour a little bit of Sauvignon Blanc to see which one I think goes best. And Jean-Marie's, we're going to jump over to the cocktail segment pretty soon. Not right now, but we're going to jump over pretty soon. And he's going to show us how to make a Negroni. We love cocktails. And Negroni is a simple Italian cocktail. It's 3 things. You stir the ingredients, and there you have it. So let me see which one I think goes best. So there's a little bit of Chardonnay right there. And then I'll open up a Sauvignon Blanc. Oh, you know what? I don't have Sauvignon Blanc. I have Pinot Grigio. I bet you that's going to be too light and fruity. So probably don't do Pinot Grigio. I thought it was Sauvignon Blanc. Tastes good. Still tastes good. I would say maybe the Chardonnay would be better. Or maybe even a light red wine. I wonder if a light red wine, like a Pinot Noir or something, would be good.
Yeah, maybe a light red wine.
Mm-hmm. Chardonnay is good. It's a little bit heavier than this Pinot Grigio, so I think that's a good bet. And then there's the mushrooms and the cheese. Yeah, I Sauvignon Blanc I think would be good too because of all the parsley and the broccoli brings a green flavor, and the right Sauvignon Blanc could be nice and green, so and herbally. So, I wish I'd chilled the Sauvignon Blanc instead. Oh well. So how's it looking, Sal? Yo, you're plated, right?
Yeah, I'm plated. I'll show you. Yeah, it turned out great. The cheese got all melty. Let me bring this down a little.
There you go.
But yeah, I got nice garlic chunks in there. The broccoli's nice and soft. It could melt in my mouth.
So good. Hey, let's learn how to make a Negroni. So, Jean-Marie, take it away.
Great. Hi everyone. So I love Campari. Campari ingredient of the Negroni. It's an Italian liqueur. It's a bitter, and I just love the taste. It's very versatile. I also like it simply sometimes in the afternoon at the late afternoon when it's warm. I like it with orange juice and Campari. Very simple drink and totally yummy. So today I'm making Negronis. So Negronis it does include Campari, and it's also based on gin. So I've got Bombay Sapphire and red vermouth, so sweet vermouth. So I have this here. I have Antica, which is a very good vermouth. So it's super easy. It's 1-1-1, so it's equal parts to make this drink. So what I will do is I will mix all my ingredients. So this one, you don't shake it, you just stir it. So I'm gonna put some ice in my, adjust my camera here a little bit. Just put some ice here in my shaker. And I will mix equal parts Campari So I'm going to go 1 ounce each. This is a good modest drink. This is our second drink, so I'm going a little easy.
Oh, and Noelani says hi. Noelani.
Hey, Noelani, how are you? Good to see you. Now I am adding the gin. And now the vermouth. So this is the vermouth that I'm using here. This one here. Oops. You have to get the camera right. And then you simply stir it. And are you ready for another drink? Or
Oh,
just
yeah.
something?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. Bring it on.
Okay. Great. Okay. My ice melted a little bit and then it froze again. So this is a lovely summertime drink. I mean, if you like gin, this is great. And then I'm going to add a slice of orange. Just makes it nice, snazzy. There you go. Cool. So here's my here. Great. There you go, Brian. For you.
Thanks, mister. Looks delicious.
So that's it. So that's how to make a Negroni. Super simple. 3 ingredients,
So
equal
good.
parts.
So good. Campari is worth the investment in your liquor cabinet. Versatile. It's good on its own. It's good with ice. It's good with club soda. It's good with orange juice. I've actually even had a cocktail where you mix almost equal parts of Campari, ruby red grapefruit juice, and vodka, which will knock you on your behind. But man, it's so refreshing and good. So it's worth buying the next time you're at Bevmo or Safeway. Buy it. And I've found it on occasion at Costco, but not very frequently. So are we going to move to salads now, Sal?
Ready to start on the salads.
Right on. Let me move my pasta out of the way.
From
And
above.
I'm going to make a slightly different salad from you, so I'm just going to watch you prepare and eat more pasta.
Is salty able to turn on? Okay, great. So before we toss our salad, we're going to talk about some balls. Sorry.
What kind of balls? What kind of balls?
So I have a caprese 2 ways for you guys. I have this little appetizer presentation, which is a mix of cherry tomatoes and fresh mozzarella. And in between, I got the baby leaves of the basil, and I got it right on a toothpick. Simple enough for you just to eat all in one bite. So a caprese is made up of 3 simple ingredients: mozzarella, tomato, and basil. And to top it off, we cannot forget about our balsamic vinegar and our olive oil. And so normally, traditionally, we have it as an antipasto appetizer, and we just make our own fresh tomato, basil, and mozzarella. And here, just to make it a little fancy, I like to stack it on top of it like a tower. And then I finish it off with a marinated artichoke. We love artichokes in my family. I'm just gonna mix that in there. And then lastly, you can just slice right into it and get a bite of everything. I'm not gonna eat right now for you guys because I don't want to make a mess. But I'm gonna go ahead and dip one of my little appetizer bites in it. Take a quick bite. And it's a great explosion of flavors. The cherry tomato pops in your mouth. It's sweet. It complements the fresh basil. And then the mozzarella. Who doesn't love cheese? And that's all I have for you.
Great. My salad is going to be really simple. A lot of something that's really easy to buy is baby arugula. And it already, when you buy it in a clamshell like this, it already comes washed and ready to go. So, and I washed my hands too before just sticking my hands in there. So it's real simple. It's arugula, right? And if that's not enough for you, then you could add some sliced tomatoes, you know, like whatever. But this is simple and quick. So arugula, pepper, salt, and balsamic vinegar. Now, balsamic vinegar can be very expensive, very, very expensive. This one's a little bit more of an expensive bottle. Balsamic vinegar can also be very inexpensive, especially if it's like an American commercial brand. And so it depends, for me, it depends on what I'm going to do with it. If it's just me and Jean-Marie or me and a few close friends, then I'm going to splurge and use the really good stuff that's been aged and is syrupy and is complex. If I'm making a salad and for 10 people, there was a themed dinner that I went to, and it was Spanish food. And I looked up Spanish salads, and one of them was a salad made with balsamic vinegar. And I thought, okay, I'm going to make this for 10 people. I'm not going to use something that's like $20 a bottle and this small, you know? So that's when I got the Star brand balsamic vinegar, or $15, whatever, 50, whatever. It's expensive. So this is like a treat. It's like, it also lasts a long time though. I mean, this, like, if it's just two of you at home or one of you at home, it's worth the investment because it tastes really good. If you're feeding a lot of people, go less expensive, you know? So I just kind of eyeball my things. I don't necessarily pre-mix a vinaigrette. You can, if you want, like make a honey mustard vinaigrette, and you kind of need to at least eyeball it in the dish or the bowl before you serve it. But this is so thick, the way it just kind of drizzles on there like chocolate syrup. I just kind of just drizzle a little bit on there. And then I take my olive oil and just kind of drizzle a little bit on there. And I will grab some tongs, or if it's really just the two of you, use clean hands to toss it around. And I basically just kind of stir it until the salad is nice and dressed. And I think it's a really good, simple salad with an Italian theme of like arugula and balsamic vinegar. And then if that's not enough for you, add some tomatoes. Maybe add some pistachios to the mix. Ooh. Maybe add some raisins too, because this is a bitter green. So adding raisins to like arugula, or raisins to kale. I think like if you eat baby kale as a salad, I think adding raisins is really yummy to the salad because it's a counterbalance to the bitterness. And then just stick it on your plate. It's like, right. So that's my like quick and easy salad. It's simple, just arugula, balsamic, salt, and pepper, or add more to it if you want more. I think that's how salads work. I don't know. What do you think?
Right? Put it whatever you want in it.
Grace, what's your favorite type of balsamic vinegar? Well, this brand is really good. It's balsamic vinegar from Modena, and it's called Giuseppe Giusti. This is the kind of product that I don't go to grocery outlet for because they almost never have it. you have to go to like Whole Foods or a nice Safeway that's big and has a lot of nicer high-end stuff. That's a really good one. There's another brand of balsamic vinegar that I think we have tucked away up here somewhere, a different name, but this one is my go-to, Giuseppe Giusti. And there's also some balsamic vinegars from a local olive oil and vinegar bar called We Olive, and I know one of the owners, and he's gay, so that's a good. It's the We Olive in Los Gatos. I think that's a good one to purchase your olive oil from. And Grace, you're talking about olive oil. I've consumed almost all that olive oil right now, but if you do go to We Olive, there are two types that I like. One is called Arbequina. It's a varietal, like it's a type of olive, and they make olive oil out of it. And the thing with the olive is they grow their olives in California. So balsamic vinegar is not from California; it's from Modena in Italy. But We Olive has really good olive oils. They're California olive oils, and they're really good. They have a bite to them, and some of them almost like sting your throat. Unfortunately, we can't go in and taste, but if you like just tell them your flavor profiles for olive oil and tell them what you're going to use it for. Again, buying something like this, it's a little bit expensive, but if you're going to put it on your salad, then I think it's worth buying a really good quality olive oil, especially if you're a smaller household. Another alternative, in my opinion, is Kirkland brand organic olive oil. Really good. It's from the Mediterranean, but I just find that it's really good for commercial olive oil. I think it's really good and better than a lot of the supermarket brands, in my opinion. That's just me. I'm not a professional. I just like things that taste good.
Go Costco.
Go Costco. Do you use fancy or affordable balsamic when you bring a salad to a potluck? So Tadashi, he's reading me. For you, I brought the cheap one. Love you, Tadashi. I can't wait to cook with you again, even if it's virtually. He's a good friend of mine. He was also a guest back in May, and he showed us how to make okonomiyaki, which is kind of like Japanese style pancakes, how you like it. And the base is like, cabbage and other things. You're welcome, Grace. So what do you like for olive oil, Sal? Or do you have any favorites for, olive oil, balsamic, anything like that?
Unfortunately, I don't at this moment. I need to study up on that.
You have some homework. Okay, right on.
Got some homework to do.
Cool. Does anyone else have any questions? Because we're nearing the end of our hour. So does anyone else have any questions regarding the food we've prepared? Sal, I have some questions for you. Like this aglio e olio is kind of like a base. Where else would you take aglio e olio? Like what other kind of vegetables have you added? What kind of protein do you like to add to the aglio e olio pasta?
Yeah, definitely. I think if I was going to do an alternative, I would do a sun-dried tomato, red pepper, and maybe add, you could add, I'm trying to think what would be a good meat to add. Probably add lamb or pork to it and marinate it a little bit. Maybe marinate it in some sun-dried tomatoes to complement the flavor. Or chicken, that works fine too.
Chicken's versatile, yeah.
Yeah, chicken's very versatile. So yeah, I would go with that. Or one of my other favorite, or prosciutto. Prosciutto would be great with it. Crispy prosciutto you could put on top of it.
Right on. Thanks, Robbie. It's so good. I can't wait for you to make it. If any of you guys make these dishes, take a picture and post it to the event, or take a picture, post it on Instagram, and tag SV Pride, because it's kind of fun to share that.
Mhm.
Mm.
Veal
What are
is
some-
also a classic Italian meat.
Say that
Veal
again?
is also a classic Italian meat.
Right on. Yeah, veal. Well, maybe next time we get together, we can play with meat. We played with balls. Why not play with meat?
That would be the next step, naturally.
Mozzarella balls and dead animals. That's what we're talking about. Anyway,
Yes.
Sal, it was really good to cook with you. I can't wait to cook with you in person. I hope you stay well. I hope your family stays well. And let's start thinking about something else Italian that we can make together. Okay?
Yes, definitely. I wish the best for you, to you and John Marie. And thank you, Silicon Valley and Pride, and you guys for having me on the show. And if you like what you see, you can check out my YouTube channel, Cucina di Salvatore. I make a lot of fun, unique dishes. And thank you guys for having me.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure. And also, I want to remind everyone who's still watching, log on to our Facebook page for the panel discussion featuring LGBTQ Black panelists and their experiences. So please come join us on Sunday, this coming Sunday, June 14th at 11 a.m. Also, if you're not able to, all these videos are going to reside on our Facebook page. So you can always jump back and watch it or rewatch it if you want to cook along or you didn't have time to watch the whole thing. So also, I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but it's been streaming on our YouTube channel, but also on Comcast channel 30. And I wish I'd remembered to give a shout out to Create TV for streaming this programming on their cable access channel. So thank you to Create TV for supporting Pride and community. So take care, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Sal. Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
Sal. Bye, everyone.